Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, the Flamin' Hot Grilled Cheese Burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
How's your day going?
Going good, thank you, yes.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Really, guys?
What? Jackson's always has those game ready.
Let's go!
Hey Bronco Nation, this is Kenzie with Boise State Soccer. When I moved to Boise, I thought I was ready for anything. Training, no problem. Your teammates, bring it on. But driving on snow and ice, yeah, that was a whole new challenge. Here in Boise, winters mean real weather. That's why I'm so grateful for my Ford all-wheel drive. If you're new to Boise or just ready for a safer winter, head to Lithia Ford of Boise. Come check out the full lineup of all-wheel drive vehicles at Lithia Ford of Boise. And when you buy here, you're supporting Boise State athletics. Come see us at Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN broadcasts come from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack open a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise, and our major sponsors, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, RoadPaint.com, and the Blue and Orange Store. At Lithia Ford of Boise, we're proud to stand with Boise State athletics. Through our NIL marketing partnerships, we're investing in the future of student athletes. Lithia Ford of Boise, here to get you there, wherever that may be. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho. Broadcasting from the Sun Cruiser Studios, here's BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Happy Thursday, Bronco Nation. Welcome on into a live edition of Bronco Nation News Live here at BNN. You're watching us on YouTube. You're watching us on Facebook, watching us on X. Give us that like. Give us that subscription. It's free. It's easy. Just click the little button there at the bottom of the screen wherever you're watching, and we're trying to build the YouTube viewership here, so appreciate all of you for doing that. It's Thursday, and that means Johnny Ballgame is with us. We're in the Sun Cruiser Studios here in Meridian. Johnny's there at KTIK 95.3 The Ticket. Our title sponsor, of course, Lithia Ford of Boise. And Johnny, we have the
What's up?
New Mexico Utah State game last night. We're getting ready for New Mexico Boise State on Saturday. We got some basketball talk. We're going to hear from Spencer Danielson from our interview during the basketball game the other night. So a lot to get to here on a Thursday. How we doing?
Yeah, super week, man. Plowing through on IST. Today we're out at the golf show. That'll be fun. We go out there every year and do a show, get everybody ready for the golf year coming up, and get some big guests. Super Bowl, Boise State hoops. Yeah, that was an interesting game. I don't know what we learned last night from Utah State going into the pit and just smacking them around like that, like a good team in this, like the best team in the league does to a mid-level team in the league. Maybe that's where we're going with where New Mexico is playing right now, or just tip the cap to what Utah State is doing again. But that was an interesting one last night, no question.
Appreciate those of you chiming in on the ICCU YouTube chat. Would love to hear from you throughout the show. If you have a question, a comment, a thought, and always enjoy knowing where folks are watching from. We have quite the disparity here, Johnny. We have Matthew checking in from Caldwell, Idaho. Always appreciate you, Matthew. And then Kelly Gage checking in from Costa Rica this morning.
Gosh, wish I used to live there. Lived in Caldwell for about 2 years of my life, right across the street for what was then Albertsons College, now the C of I. But Costa Rica, you got a Costa Rica viewer? What time is it in the Costa Rica
Probably,
right now?
I'm guessing Eastern time, maybe. Central, maybe. Hour or two later. But Kelly, appreciate you for checking in. Go out to the beach or do something fun. Stop watching us. But Skyship saying Caldwell, Mason Fallslev is the real deal, folks. Yeah, that was quite the game last night, as you said, Johnny, and was watching that game. Always enjoy Mountain West games. Always enjoy the top teams in the standings meeting. 10:09, by the way. So they're on Central Time, hour later. So appreciate you again, Kelly, for watching us from Costa Rica this morning. Let us know where you're watching from. We'll get those shout-outs in throughout the show. But, Johnny, a little extra of interest last night for Boise State fans, knowing that 3 days later, Boise State would be going down to the pit to play at New Mexico. And that wasn't much of a game there in the second half. It kind of reminded me of the Boise State at Grand Canyon game, just reversed, a close game at the half. I think a 3-point game at halftime last night. And then Utah State just steamrolled them in the second half. Utah State wins by 20 at the pit last night. Yeah. And, I have some thoughts on New Mexico, but how do you think that game and New Mexico losing by 20 at home, and now they turn around and host Boise State, is it good for Boise State coming in with them losing, and maybe the crowd's not going to be as big Saturday? I don't know. Or are they going to face a fired up, ready to go New Mexico team on Saturday?
No, I wouldn't be scared. I mean, I think New Mexico showed you who they were. I think New Mexico showed you who they were when they were up here last month, losing at Extra Mile Arena. I mean, are they going to be more mad? No. Maybe more focused? Sure. Are they going to listen to the coaching staff? They better. That's the one thing with coaches. When you get your ass kicked, they'll buy in. They'll listen to you because nobody wants to keep getting their ass kicked. And the coaches will say, here's what's going on. Here's what we need to fix. So sometimes, it works. Boise State isn't Utah State, so they're not going to get as tough a competition, let's be honest. But no, I think Boise State absolutely can go into the pit and beat this New Mexico team. I've seen Boise State go into the pit and play really well against really good New Mexico teams. You've been at those games. So, no, man, this is a game. Boise State's feeling good. New Mexico isn't. It's the day before Super Bowl Sunday. This is going to get a lot of us through this weekend. The mid-level, who's going to rise up, BJ? Who's going to play their way into the 5 seed potentially? And it could be one of these two teams. Am I right?
Yeah, no, you're definitely right about that. And I am interested. I think New Mexico is a good team. I don't think they're a great team. And I do kind of, when they're at home, certainly they're tougher to beat, obviously, at home than they are on the road. And so I think they're still a formidable opponent, and I would still probably expect them to beat Boise State on Saturday. But with that said, I'm not still sold on how good they are, because we've talked about it. It was kind of like the Nevada thing the other night, Johnny. Just you look at their wins and you look at who they've lost to. They don't have a lot of great wins. I know they had a couple non-conference games that were nice, but overall, you look at what New Mexico has done this year, Johnny, and I know they beat Santa Clara and VCU in the non-conference, and both those teams are top 50 at Ken Pom. But in conference, they lost at Boise, lost at San Diego State, and now have lost at home to Utah State. And their other two best wins in the conference, Grand Canyon and Nevada, both came at home. So, I mean, you look at what they've done on the road in this conference. At UNLV, got a nice win. At San Jose, got a nice win. Colorado State and Air Force, but that's it. And they still have to go to Grand Canyon next week. They still have to go to Nevada. They still have to go to Utah State. They've still got San Diego State at home. So
those are all losses, if you ask me.
And I just wonder with New Mexico, 18-5 now. I mean, their record was great, but I just don't see a ton of great in conference on there in terms of the wins. And solid team, but I'm not sure they're an at-large NCAA tournament type team.
I don't know if they're a bye team in the Mountain West tournament. I don't know if they're a top 4 seed. That schedule, I mean, okay, we'll learn a lot about this New Mexico team. 2 words about the state of New Mexico athletics right now. Football school. They're a football school now. They're selling out games. That's where the money is going. Jason Eck, the Pied Piper, goes down there, and so people are like, oh, yeah, football's way cooler than basketball. What have you been doing all these years? We can be good at football? Kidding. But, I mean, think about that. Like, New Mexico did what it did in football with 73 new players out of 105. And this basketball program, I think you've told me that there's not one former coach, one former player. It's an entirely new outfit. I mean, is New Mexico really going to be able to do that with both revenue sports in the same year? Completely remove the teams you had. I don't know what the hell word. It's early. Just completely flush out and bring in new everything, and it's going to work in both cases. That's just not going to work every year in this landscape, in my opinion. You reference Nevada last year, what they went through. Maybe this is one of those years for New Mexico. They're still really hard to beat at home against most teams. But, man, I watched that game last night, and Utah State's just better. And typically I wouldn't say it to that level. Utah State's playing really well. And New Mexico right now, yeah, they got a great record, but their tough games are coming up. Yeah, I mean, seriously, like, you go through their schedule again.
Okay, they have Boise State at home, at Grand Canyon next week. They still are home to Air Force, at Fresno, which, let's be honest right now, Fresno looks like a semi-competent team. Going on the road to Fresno that's not a gimme game right now that I'm gonna just hand to them. Then back-to-back at Fresno, at Nevada. So they're at Grand Canyon, at Fresno, at Nevada, San Diego State at home, Colorado State at home, and the last game of the season, they're at Utah State as well to finish out the season. So Ken Pom has them going, if you just look at the individual metrics, 5-3 in their last 8 games. That would put them at 23-8. Going into the conference tournament for a mid-major team. They're not getting in the tournament.
Nope. But they
got a solid team. They're a good team. And, like I said, I still, if I had to pick right now, I mean, they're going to be 5, 6, 7-point favorites against Boise State, I would expect on Saturday. I mean, I don't think it's crazy to go out on a limb and say I think they probably beat Boise State. I think Boise State, which Boise State team shows up. They have Boise State's certainly good enough to win at the pit. They've done it before with lesser teams. They could certainly win on Saturday, and it wouldn't shock me. But if I, had to make a pick right now, I'd probably say New Mexico bounces back and wins on the road. And just because this Boise State team's been inconsistent, but they certainly can go down there and win. I don't know if they will, but some other games they have left, like you said, is certainly not making things easy for them. And Johnny, I put the Mountain West standings from Ken Pom up here on the screen right now. You look at the race for the 4 seed, and I would even just say the race for the 5 seed, because I don't think there's that big of a difference. If you're the 5 seed, you get to play Air Force in your first game, and I almost think the 5 seed is better than the 4, because you get that first game, get your feet wet, the jitters in the gym, and get all your starters 10, 15 minutes and get them out of there and beat Air Force in a scrimmage, and then you play the worst of the teams that had the bye in the 4 seed in the quarterfinals. So I think the 5 seed's a solid spot. Right now, Boise State's sitting in 6th place. Johnny 6-6 in league, 2 games behind Nevada. And if you beat New Mexico on Saturday, you're only 2 games behind New Mexico, possibly as well. So Grand Canyon's going to be the one that's tough to beat because you lost to them twice. So you're essentially 4 games behind them right now. But I don't think it's crazy to think they could pass New Mexico, certainly have a chance to pass Nevada. And you only got to move up 1 more spot in the standing. I mean, I don't think the 6th spot is all that terrible. You still get San Jose in the first game, and then you play, whoever finishes 3rd in the second game. So as long as they can stay 6th or better, I don't think that's like some horrible spot for them, given where they started at 1-5. But if they could find a way to move up to 5 or possibly even 4, that would certainly be a big boost for them. But yeah, I'm just curious about New Mexico, man. Solid team. I think that Eric Olin is in the Coach of the Year mix, has done a great job this year, Johnny, and not trying to take away what they've done this year. But when you kind of just step back and look at it, good team, yes. NCAA tournament at large type team for the league. I'm not sure. I mean, if they have an opportunity. They got a lot of tough games left on the schedule. If they win them, they're going to be in, but I'm not sure they're going to.
I think they'll be the 5, and I think Boise State, it'll be tough, man. Looking at it, I think Grand Canyon will be the 3, and then maybe Nevada's the 4, and then New Mexico's the 5. If not, then you're going to have Nevada as the 5 seed, and that's going to be a pretty scrappy 5 seed. Boise State's going to have to beat some of these game teams. Start with Saturday at New Mexico if they're going to get in that mix. Because if you can get, say, Air Force the first game and then Nevada the second game, it's not crazy to think that this team could then be in the semifinals of that tournament. And if you're there, then, hey, it's almost like for me, if this team can get to the semifinals of the conference tournament, all of a sudden you're squeezing a lot out of this sponge, man. If you can go down there and win a couple of games, then maybe you set yourself up for some postseason potential if you want that. Maybe not the NCAA tournament, but something else. There's a path, man. They just need to keep playing. Like I think the game the other night might have been that game that Leon needed. Tough street fight. They come away with the win. It builds their confidence. The point guard play was outstanding. Big shots being made. And I think that's a lot of the team that we kind of thought maybe we were getting this season more consistently. So I can't wait to watch this game at the Pit. I think they got a really good chance to win, but you're right. New Mexico will absolutely be favored.
We'll take your comments, your thoughts here on the ICC YouTube chat on this game, on the Mountain West, on whatever you got. And Connie's unhappy this morning, Johnny.
What's up?
Excuse me.
Yeah, that's okay.
Excuse me. Connie has no respect for our football team, all BSU students. They disrespected, in my opinion, the basketball team when they all left right after they were honored and recognized I had an event. But Connie has no respect for the football team.
What about all the other students who just never even go to games? I mean, those guys at least have – I guarantee you those dudes have stuff to do.
Well, they probably have 6 a.m. workouts the next
100%. Like, they were there for the first half. And, hey, don't say that about Sire Gaines.
He stayed for a little bit longer. I'm not sure if he stayed the whole game. But
there in the second half, I saw him, and then I quit looking because you're right. Was that embarrassing? I guess. Maybe next time don't put the team up there expecting them to come back. I get the buzzkill factor, but yeah, the football team, guys, like if most fans in this town don't really care about Boise State basketball and most other students don't really care about Boise State basketball, let's not point our finger at the football team for winning 3 Mountain West championships and going out there and doing their thing. They weren't, they were forced to do that. I mean, they didn't have to, but that was a cool thing that they did, I thought. You don't have to make them sit for the whole game. Maybe they don't like basketball. Maybe, I don't know, but you can.
George Morales saying, I don't want to hear from football coaches about students leaving the football games at halftime. Kind of got a point there, right?
Who said that?
Jordan Morales.
Oh, Morales.
Spencer comes in. Hey, we can't have our fans leave at halftime. Our students. Oh, well, like you did, like your basketball, like you did at the basketball game, coach.
Well, he would say we had a 5 a.m. workout. I wanted them out of there. I don't want them there that late.
I mean, that was the most they never stay. That was the most predictable thing. We were actually going, okay, let's see who makes the right turn to the seats and who goes straight out the door. We're counting.
We played that game. We honestly did, because they walked right past us and we said, okay, who's going up? Who's going out? Who's going up? Because this is the third straight year they've done this, where they celebrate the Mountain West Football Championships, the third straight year. And for 3 straight years, yeah, they got stuff to do. Maddox Madsen's engaged. He's trying to plan for a wedding this spring, man, and be the starting quarterback. Like,
well, I do understand it, Johnny. Like, I also do think it just shows, as you said, it does kind of fit in perfectly with just the narrative, the thought ever that it's just not a big deal to go to basketball games. I mean, they're not leaving at halftime at Kansas. I'll just say that. I mean,
was Ryan Dinwiddie at all these games? Was Z? Was Ian? Was Bart? Like, I don't remember. Like, I've been going to basketball games a long time. PJ, are the football guys ever there?
No, they don't usually come very often. But like I said, I don't have a problem with it. I expected it. They have early workouts to require them with all of their time to sit there for a full 2-hour game. But you would think you would hope some of them would want to, though. I would say that. I would think to require them. No, that's fine. But for the entire team to just stream right out the door, I could see why some fans and would be a little frustrated with that, because then all of a sudden those seats are open and other fans are kind of moving down, but the student section's half empty suddenly in the second half. I could see why folks would be a little disappointed in that, but I would just say it just kind of fits in with the whole thought that for whatever reason, it's not the cool thing to do to go sit at a basketball game, and whether it's the regular students, whether it's other athletes, it's just not. It just kind of fits in with the general premise that they've got to do more to get students to want to go to these games. Because, like I said, when they bring recruits, when they come to games, is a similar thing to get honored. The football team ain't leaving a Kansas game at halftime. It's just one of those things that they have to work on in the offseason to just get more people engaged with these games. I get it. You can't require them. I guess you could, but I don't think that's necessarily smart. They do have a lot going on, homework, 5 a.m. workouts, whatever. But I do think it kind of fits in with the whole thing that just isn't something people think to do. Go to a basketball game and sit there for the whole game, I guess.
Yep, and it's 3 straight years. I don't know what they're going to do. Yeah, is Jeremiah Dickey maybe disappointed? Sure, but he also maybe knows that those kids' alarms are going off at 4:45 a.m. and at halftime of a game that starts at 7 p.m. Just do the mental math in your head, man. Like, and a lot of times the 5 a.m. workout, yeah, you're up at 4:45 in the morning. Is there everybody going to work that has to wake up at 4:45 in the morning? Are they there? No, can we move on?
Yeah, I'm happy moving on. Kurt says they did the same thing last year. Yeah, 3 years in a row we talked about that. That's just kind of what they do. All right, so this team, Johnny, we are going to play an interview with Spencer Danielson here in a little bit. He came on BNN in the first part of the second half of the game against Nevada, and there were a couple interesting notes and nuggets in there, and so I wanted to replay that interview. It's about 10 minutes if folks didn't get a chance to hear Spencer come on BNN. I did want to take this today, since there's not a game tonight or something to talk about, to play that. So I will do that in a little bit. And then when we let you go, Johnny, our friend Adam Engroff is going to come back on, the longtime NFL scouting director. We're going to talk Ty Benefield. Do Ty Benefield's pro prospects change, and where he could get drafted and what people think of him playing at LSU or Boise State this year? We're going to dive into that whole thing about what's better, staying and putting up bigger numbers, transferring eyes. We'll get into that with Adam Engroff coming up a little bit later in the show as well. So it'll be a little bit longer show today, a lot to get to. But let's finish up on basketball here, Johnny. This team, the win the other night, looking down the stretch here. I mean, this looks like a team, Johnny, that is good enough to beat anybody when they're playing their best, and certainly can lose to almost anybody when they're not, playing at their capabilities. They've shown that game to game. They've shown that, Johnny, frankly, half to half. Look at the Grand Canyon game. They're right there with them in the first half, get blown out in the second half. You have some nice wins, and then you have some really bad clunkers. It just, you don't know which team's going to show up, but they've certainly shown at times, and they showed in that first 12 minutes when they were up 30-10 that, they have the potential to go on some run down in Vegas here or to win some games here down the stretch. What what are just your general thoughts? What did you take away from that game? They got up big, and then, as we said, kind of blew it. But certainly for a good chunk of that first half, they looked almost unbeatable at that point. What did you like during that stretch, and what would you like to see, I guess, moving forward here that would give you some hope this team could go on some magical run?
They're shooting the ball better. I mean, let's just start there. I mean, you look at the teams or the games this team has struggled in. They just can't put the ball in the hole. Dylan Andrews said it himself. I couldn't buy a bucket. And he has a lot of money too, BJ. He should have been able to purchase several, all kidding aside. He said that. Well, now Dylan Andrews is playing like an all-league level player. At least he did. Love it. And I'll tell you, this team too, they're defending the three-pointer better. It's in the numbers. All of a sudden, teams aren't coming in and drilling all these threes against them. I mean, Boise State defensively, I think on the season, let me double check, but yeah, just this season, BJ, they're defending the three. It's getting better, but it's still not great. I'm looking at the numbers now. They're giving up 35% to the opponents shooting threes. They'd like to get that better, but that's not the worst thing ever. But I think that's part of it. They're just getting better. Like if they were making free throws and little things here, there, that wouldn't even have been a game. And I agree with Leon. That 10, 12-minute stretch that we were watching together when they were up by 20 there, you were like, okay, yep, that's everything's clicking here. And they need to figure out and keep getting that. And you're not going to do that every game, but I think this team's going in a positive direction. I haven't been this optimistic about this team in a couple of months, man. I thought that Nevada win was big. I think this New Mexico game is ripe. I think you can win that. And then all of a sudden, yeah, you're sixth, fifth, fourth in this league, starting to get maybe more out of this team than maybe you thought you were a month and a half ago when we were all looking like, what, really, where is this team going? Who's their best player? Who's going to do this? And now it takes time. So I'm pretty optimistic. I know Nevada came back, but that's college hoops right now. That's the NBA. 20-point leads just aren't safe in the sport anymore. And that one wasn't. I had a feeling Nevada was going to come back. I think most people in that arena probably did too.
Did you? You were sitting on press row asking if they're going to win by 40.
Oh, no. I said that? Maybe when they were up by 25, but certainly when it got closer, I was thinking, okay, that's this team. I was agreeing with what Leon was saying on the post game there. I thought, dude, this team looks really good. And yeah, you're going to let them get back in it. They're going to go on a run. Every team does. But I thought they toughened up at the end. If Meadow makes a couple free throws, we're not even getting into that situation at all, BJ. And you saw Andrew Meadow as soon as the game was over. Where was he? He was out in the gym shooting free throws.
Yep, he came back out to shoot free throws, and that's certainly something mentally he's got to figure out. I would say, Johnny, the defense needs to get better here down the stretch, though. Nathan Carroll wrote a tremendous article at BroncoNationNews.com kind of looking at it, and everybody wanted to kind of get on the offense there for a while, and it was struggling, but the offense has improved like 50 spots at KenPom in the last 3 weeks here, and the defense all of a sudden is sitting there at 61st and has really kind of struggled. And you look at the conference standings on defensive ranks here. Boise State, 9th in the conference in effective field goal percentage defense, 9th in opponents' three-point percentage, 10th in turnover rate, 10th in steal rate, 11th in block rate. And Nathan Carroll says, simply to summarize, they've struggled to slow down shooters, haven't defended the three-point line, don't force any turnovers, and don't block shots. And basically, when you put all that together, the defense has not been to that Mike Burns level, even though they've won 5 of 6 here. So a game like, the Pit on Saturday, Johnny, last time they played New Mexico, they held them to 53 points.
Wow.
They're going to have to step up the defense here down the stretch.
That's the defense they need. They don't care about blocks, because they don't want to leave their feet defensively. That's how they teach.
They've never had a shot blocker in my 13 years here.
Ever. They punt on that. It's okay. It's not going to block a shot, but all those other points are really fair. I mean, there's just too many times, I think, one-on-one, they allow their man to get a look or get fouled or just take it straight to the rack on a guy and just score on him. That happens too much. Team defense, hopefully that's getting better as well, but I didn't know the defense numbers were that. Have they been that way the whole year, or is it in the last month or so they're just getting worse and worse and worse?
Well, these are within conference play, I think. So I don't think it's the whole season, but I think it's been just kind of slowly been a problem, and it's why they started out 1-5 in conference play. And even when they've started to win some games here, it's been more because of the offense, not the defense.
Okay, that makes sense then, because I thought, during this comeback or these wins that the defense is tightening up, certainly because of the level of the competition, if anything else. But those are good numbers to know, and I'm sure Burns is well aware of that. And hopefully New Mexico's in trouble because of that, because they're going to come out and they're going to defend their tail off.
And just to put a little bit of that into context, Johnny, the turnover rate, so they're only forcing turnovers on 16% of their defensive possessions, 16.2. That's on pace to be the worst turnover rate of the Leon Rice era at Boise State. So they're just not forcing a lot of turnovers. And then when teams are shooting 50+% against them as well, that's a bad combo. And so the 3-point percentage, 34.5%, that's on pace to be the worst since 2016. Block rate, they only block 5.8% of opponents' shots. That's 2020. And you're just looking at, really bad kind of numbers when it comes to that. So we'll see if the defense can improve. Certainly is going to have to improve on Saturday when they go down to the pit and face probably a pretty ticked off New Mexico. I'll be curious what the crowd's like. Students are always fickle, as Johnny. I would suspect New Mexico is a place where you lose one game, they're still going to come out and know that's an even bigger game on Saturday and have an even louder, better crowd to help them out.
They hate Boise State too. I mean,
they don't like Leon. They don't like Leon.
They hate Leon. Eck will probably be there. He'll do one of his things and he'll wave towels because Eck loves.
Would Jason Eck come out in a baseball jersey?
Yeah.
A New Mexico baseball jersey after Boise State had the fight with the alleged incident with the baseball team?
Yeah, he would. I mean, he would. If he might be recruiting though, or doing whatever they're doing, but this would be a game. I mean, Jason Eck likes seeing Boise State lose. I'm not going to lie. It puts a smile on his face. He wants New Mexico to win this game, but yeah, they'll still be there. They're not going to, no way. This is going to be a raucous crowd because like you said, New Mexico's still good. Look at their record. They're still in position to do everything. Now, I don't think they're going to stay that good just because I look at the teams that are coming their way, and that's fine. Just go win those games and shut me up. Happens all the time. But I think Boise State certainly can do that. But, man, they're going to have to tighten up that defense. Those numbers are crazy. And I will say this about their defense, and I was talking with Carol about this a little bit at the game. They play reactionary defense, not proactionary defense. You react to what's coming and you try to defend it, not, proactive defense. I'm going to think 2 steps ahead and I'm going to be able to intercept this ball, or I'm going to deny this entry pass. I'm going to do whatever it is defensively because I'm going to expect something's going to come. I'm not just going to react to everything that comes. And that's probably really hard to decipher, but I thought it was spot on, especially with a couple of defenders in particular. They just kind of stay there and kind of hope that you don't score on them. I just don't think they're elite level athletes. I mean, we've said this, and it's okay. You don't have to be the most athletic team in the league to be good. Not at all. You have to be the best basketball team in the league or a good basketball team to be good. This team isn't filled with athletic specimens. There's no James Webb flying around on this team. Was he a decent shot blocker? Because you thought that. I'm trying to think, has Leon had a decent shot blocker? Did Webb get up there and smack things against the glass and whatnot? I'm trying to think on that.
Maybe, but he was like a small forward or a guard.
Yeah, he was like a stretch 4 or a 3. Yeah. Okay. They have not had that signature shot blocker / rim protector.
Yeah.
Like you're just not this. Yeah. Anyway, but we'll see, BJ. Defense has to get better. Defense has to get better. But I think this team's playing well. I'm optimistic about this team that's going to beat New Mexico in the pit. And that's a big win for this team, and keep it going after that. Let's see. After New Mexico, UNLV at home, bring it. Win that game. And then you just keep this thing going, and you beat San Jose, you beat Wyoming, and you beat Fresno, and you beat Colorado State, and you go into Vegas on a nice little run. This team is good enough to win those games. I know that. This team's good enough to beat New Mexico in the pit. I know that. We've seen them beat New Mexico before. make shots, defend shots, play collectively, stay out of foul trouble, weather the storm of the pit. Like, yeah, it's doable. It's doable.
Well, Johnny, we're going to hear from Spencer Danielson, and then Adam's going to join us. We're going to talk football here for the next half an hour or so. So we'll let you roll. But any final thoughts on the Super Bowl, on anything?
One final thought. Spencer Aarons should play 28 minutes a game. I'll leave you with that. I don't see bad minutes. I see shot attempts. I see aggression. I see shot making. He's a teenager. I really like his game. Spencer Aarons, more of Spencer Aarons.
Before you go, Johnny, I'm only going to play the first 20 seconds of the Spencer Danielson interview. You were sitting next to him during this, correct?
Yeah.
Were you listening to what he said?
No, it was too loud, man.
All right, I'm just going to play the first 20 seconds here, and then I'll cut it off I'll let you go. But
We're back with Spencer Danielson. We're gonna let Coach Danielson do a little guest commentary here for part of the second half.
Nice.
Appreciate you for joining us, man.
Thanks, BJ. Bronco Nation, love you guys. How we doing?
Got 1,147 people tuned in right now. We're going to try to show them the game while we're talking. I was going to let you and Johnny just talk dating life the whole time. But
yeah, I'm integral in Johnny's life. Whenever they get married, Johnny, I am a man of the cloth. So just let me know whenever you want to make it official. We're all in here. You can have it all at Boise State. You know what I mean? Yeah.
All right, we'll get you to the.
Did he just say he's going to officiate my wedding if I
offered to? He just offered to. Yes. When you're ready, he's ready. You can have it all at Boise State. He said.
Would I do that? Like, I mean, I don't have to. I don't.
I don't think he'd charge you. You
I don't think
save
I'm
some money
married either. So I don't know. We'll see, man. But I love that guy. He's, I hope he wins and wins and wins and wins and just does nothing but win. So he stays here for 25 years and recruits the right type of kid for this community and whatnot. The crappy thing is with all this, BJ, is you just have to win.
Yep.
And you have to win everything. And you don't get any losses, any leeway, any slack. God, I like that guy though. It sucks, but you gotta win, Spencer. Find a way to beat Oregon, right?
Where are you at today?
The golf show. Boise.
That'll be fun for Prater, I'm sure.
Oh, he loves the golf show. BoiseGolf.com. Shea McClellan. If not today, he's coming this week talking Super Bowl. Jerry Kramer booked on IST. Dirk Cutter. BJ, do you hate the Seahawks?
I'll be betting on them for Sunday, so no.
Okay, cool.
I dislike them less than I dislike the Patriots, but I dislike both teams.
Gotcha.
Patriots started that run against the Rams back when they were in St. Louis, and then I always disliked the Seahawks just being a rival of the Rams when they were in St. Louis, but got a lot of Seahawks fans like you guys, and I want to see you guys win this, and I do think they win on Sunday, so I'll be betting on them and rooting for them on Sunday.
BJ, thanks for having me. Say hey to Adam for me. Mr. Scout does a great
Appreciate
job.
You, man.
And I'll see you guys. Thanks.
Appreciate you, man. There he is. Johnny Ballgame. Appreciate him for jumping on. Going to hear from Spencer Danielson, and then Adam Engroff, longtime pro personnel director with the Miami Dolphins, is going to come on and talk Ty Benefield and some other things. So a lot of you guys complaining in the chat that we never talk enough football. We'll give you 30-plus minutes of football here coming up on BNN. But do want to thank a couple sponsors. Lithia Ford of Boise, our title sponsor. Get on out to Lithia Ford of Boise. LithiaFordBoise.com is where you can go and view their full inventory of vehicles. They got some great deals right now, whether it's new, pre-owned. They got some NIL deals, and Ben Ford, and they're taking care of Spencer Danielson, Jeremiah Dickey, and others with vehicles. So you want somebody that supports Boise State, you need to look no further than Lithia Ford of Boise. Hey, Sun Cruiser, perfect weekend for the Super Bowl. We're going to have some Sun Cruisers at the Rains house. That's right, Super Bowl Sunday. We'll be sipping on some Sun Cruisers, whether it's the lemonade iced tea, the vodka iced tea, all the different flavors they have, the vodka lemonades, tremendous stuff with Sun Cruiser. And it's just that perfect blend of, low carb, low calorie, and I love Sun Cruiser. Get it at Jackson's, get it at Ridley's, one of your local gas stations or grocery stores. Ridley's Family Markets has them. We appreciate Sun Cruiser. Let the good times cruise. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest is that mobile e-branch online banking right there in your smartphone. Idaho Central Credit Union, they sponsor our ICCU YouTube chat. Check them out, ICCU.com. And Shout out Natalie Pasco and the women's basketball team winning their 8th straight game. They got a big one coming up on Saturday against New Mexico. So 8 in a row. Get out on Saturday at 1 o'clock and support the women's team as they have a big game against a team that already beat them this season in New Mexico. Today's the day. 75-cent fountain drinks. Get out to Jackson's using your Let's Go Rewards app, and you get a 75-cent fountain drink at Jackson's with the Broncos scoring 75 points on Tuesday night. So get out to Jackson's, use that Let's Go Rewards app, and get that 75-cent fountain drink at Jackson's. Hopefully yesterday you took advantage of that Taco Bell deal since the Broncos got over 83. They gave away free tacos yesterday to anybody with a ticket stub from the game. So if they get 83, you get a free taco the next day with your ticket stub. And whether it's the breakfast quesadilla, the Cantina Bowls, so many great options there at Taco Bell. Support a local family, local company that really does have roots here and really cares about the Treasure Valley and cares about Boise State. SON Management Group, the Nicolason family. Check out a Treasure Valley Taco Bell location today. And speaking of Boise State gear, how about the Blue and Orange Store online, theblueandorangestore.com. You can order anywhere in the world. And whether you're in town, you can go to the Boise Town Square Mall, go to the Allen Noble Hall of Fame location. The Blue and Orange Store, online at theblueandorangestore.com. The best selection, the best prices. If you're looking for Boise State gear, get it at the Blue and Orange Store and theblueandorangestore.com. All right, we're going to hear from Adam Engroff in a little bit. Again, 27 seasons in the NFL with the Miami Dolphins scouting department. If you have any questions for a guy that's been heavily involved in the draft process and scouting players for nearly 3 decades, Adam did a great job last week. He's going to be back today here in a little bit, and we'll do a weekly segment. So if you have any questions, you can do that. But I wanted to play the rest of the Spencer Danielson interview. He came on with us during the broadcast of the Nevada game on Tuesday night. So he's on camera, part of the interview, part of the camera, the basketball, or part of it, the basketball game was showing. So I've got a graphic we'll put on screen. But Spencer Danielson with a few interesting things. He hasn't talked since the end of the season, so haven't had a chance to hear from Spencer in like a month or more. And some of you were at the game, maybe didn't go back and hear the interview, so wanted to play it. Here is Spencer Danielson, exclusive interview with Bronco Nation News during the basketball game the other night.
Momentarily, they're on a commercial break right now. Nevada trails by 9. They just hit a bucket to start the second half here. But Spencer, the team was honored here at halftime, and appreciate you for coming on here and doing this. But tell us just kind of what's going on with the team right now. We saw the on the hunt phrase going. You guys are obviously back in the winter workouts and things, but what's just kind of the synopsis? I know you have the second signing day. Had another good day today. I know you can't get too specific, but what's just kind of the update here on February 3rd?
Yeah, BJ. Well, first off, good to see you. I know you've been hustling, running around the country with our basketball team and Bronco Nation. Let's never take BJ for granted. He's out here running around with everybody that loves Boise State athletics. So BJ, good to see you, Bronco Nation. Hope all is well. Hope everyone's had a good holiday, and we're rocking and running into February, and blessed to be here. January is really busy. Big time 3 right there, BJ. Here we go.
See, here's the deal. They're 20 seconds behind. So
okay, sorry.
They're about to see the other team score here.
Okay.
Now you just,
not that one.
You just let them know that David Buchanan is going to hit a 3 here. So there is some good news coming, but that's the only problem with the delay.
Yeah, well, Bronco Nation. And so when we started in January, really just thinking about this team, and that's where the on the hunt comes from, where I want everything we do. I don't want a group of players that just want to be fed, right? There's 2 types of people in this life. Those that want to be fed, they want the easy, they want things given to them. And then there's another very small group that want to be on the hunt, where it's the air they breathe is chasing excellence, chasing growth. And that's what I want our players to be. So I'm proud of them. I really like the first 3 weeks of workouts we've had. We signed 29 freshmen in December, which I think has got to be, if not one of the top groups in the country. We're able to sign that many freshmen. That's what we do, and just really cool to see them continue to grow and develop with our program. So the future's bright. We're relentless to make sure that we earn everything we get. And game 1 against Oregon is going to be here in, I think, 212 days. So we'll be ready to roll.
Now, I know you can't get specific. I think I can mention it, though. You had a good day out there, I guess, as folks saw. I got you at 17. I think you guys have announced 15 that I know you can talk about. But where do you keep finding all these spots for guys? And in terms of your needs in the transfer portal, what you went in hoping to get and what you've got overall, how do you feel about the haul of players you guys added?
Yeah, Jay, BJ, we've been able to go through it. At
least you didn't compare me to Johnny. If you want to compare me to Jay, that's okay.
I just left Jay. You guys are both elite. You know what I mean? No, we went in knowing we had some needs. We knew first and foremost that it's always going to start with our current roster and then the high school kids. And then so we had the portal we went through. Lost a couple kids in the transfer portal. That always hurts, but proud of we were able to keep the majority of our team. We kept, our best players stayed here, which I'm really proud of them. And so we went to the transfer portal, junior college, and for us, we had to make sure we find the right fit for our place, for Boise State, not just who's the most talented out there. And I really do believe we found guys that love football, want to outwork people, and want to be a part of a team. So really proud of what our staff was able to put together. And we were able to sign some guys that had a bunch of opportunities other places, but wanted to be here. And that's what's a big deal to me. They got to want to be here at Boise State. And I'm really excited about the group we brought in.
So I got you. You guys announced 15. There's been a couple others. Is that about it? Or are you guys still looking? Or
yeah, we got. I think when I look at it, we got maybe one spot left. BJ, still looking to see what that might be. We're pretty much right there. I mean, we were able to bring in a lot of them at the semester, so we got a lot of those players here currently, and so we got probably about maybe one spot left off the top of my head. But yeah, we're really where we want to be.
And some new coaches. Some new support staff. I mean, there's some fresh faces in the building. How's that going?
It's been really good. I mean, especially, you're hiring a coach and then he's on the road recruiting 24 hours later for Boise State. So actually tonight before the basketball game was able to take our staff out to bowling and get all our kids and everybody around each other. Just we haven't had a lot of time just to be around each other. And so, Coach Witt, Alvis Wood is our receiver coach. An elite receiver developer, played in the league for 9 years. It's been awesome to see him, even with our players for this first month. Terrence Brown's going to coach our secondary and be our co-defensive coordinator. I've known him for a long time. An elite football mind, has developed defensive backs, a multitude of them to play in the NFL. A great person, first and foremost, too. Develops players, but also develops them off the field, which matters to me. We've been able to bring in Landon, who's our director of player personnel. We brought in Josh Price, who's going to help in our strength and conditioning department. I'm going to keep wrapping.
Elevated some others. Yeah, you're not going to be able to name them all. But.
Elevate a bunch of our coaches. There's been a lot of movement going on. We had some of our young coaches that have moved on to full-time roles in Division II, which is awesome. I want to continue to develop people. So really proud of the staff we have and our players, and we got a lot of work to do, man.
Give us a thought on the Pac-12. I saw a couple of the recruits on their visits had the Pac-12 logo either photoshopped in or on their jersey, and that was the first time it kind of hit me like, wow, this is happening. I know they just had some meetings and stuff. Are you eager to get a schedule? Maybe you know more than other people know, but in terms of the schedule and how that last game's going to work out, just some stuff to iron out here in the near future.
Yeah, really, honestly, so excited for the Pac-12. The Mountain West was an amazing run for us. 3 straight conference championships, but that's old news. We're moving into the Pac-12. The future's bright. Everybody's got an opportunity to win it. You're going to be around great teams, great fan bases, week in and week out. I'm not sure exactly how the schedule is going to work. I have an idea with Jeremiah about kind of how they're going to slate to get to 12 games and all that kind of stuff, but I know that right now is still kind of hush-hush. But really excited.
Let us know right here if you want.
Hey, trust me, I let it rip. I get pulled back more than you guys know. But excited to play Oregon game 1. That's a big time. They'll be, if not number 1, number 2 in the country when we roll into Eugene. So it's going to be a great schedule. The Pac-12 is going to be loaded with talent. Great coaches across the board, and it's going to be a big-time season.
I didn't want to get too nuts and bolts on football, but there's a lot of questions in the chat. One I'll get to. You elevated Zach Hill, the co-OC.
Yep.
Is Nate Potter still the play caller? Is Zach Hill? How does he fit into that?
Yeah, good question. Nate Potter is still the play caller, so he's the offensive coordinator, and Zach Hill is going to be the co-offensive coordinator and really run the entire pass game. And that's really what I'm excited for Zach Hill to step into. Is his hand's going to be on the entire pass game, and obviously be really the number 2 to Coach Potter. And I'm really excited to see Zach Hill step into that role.
All right, so in the final month or so, do you have a date for spring ball yet?
We do. Yeah, I think we start our first day is I think it's March 26th, BJ.
We're going way later this year.
Yep. So we're going after spring break instead of starting before.
Okay.
I just want to use every bit to make sure that our players are using this time the right way. We are developing them from our strength and conditioning department. And then when we start spring ball, it's given our coaches time to do a lot of professional development to make sure when we have practice 1, there are no wasted reps, that we're doing everything we need to.
All right, so final thing then for you, and we really appreciate your time. What is on the to-do list for those next 8-9 weeks, whenever that is, till March 26th or whatever. And you know, what's just kind of, is it just strength training at this point? You know, what's on the agenda, and what do you hope to accomplish before you guys hit that field for practice one?
Yeah, first off, I mean, our guys are absolutely on the grind in the weight room and on the field. So it's a mix, just so our fans understand. It's about 2 hours mixed from on the field to in the weight room, and then they'll do football meetings on top of that, depending how it works. A lot of it is optional this time of year in regards to football meetings, but our guys are in there watching film, doing everything they need, because you have to. If you want to be great, it's not optional. It's not optional to be in there and get the extra work in. So a lot of work is going on with our players. We'll do that for about another month, and then we start we call our Built Different program, which is 2 days a week, 6 a.m. on Tuesday, Thursday, and it's an absolute competition. I mean, we want to find ways to push our players to the deep end to see who truly wants to be elite. And that's what we're going to start here at the end of end of February, starting into March. Every Friday prior to that, we're on the blue in the cold. Hopefully it gets colder. I've been praying for snow on Friday morning. It's been a little bit too relaxed for me around here.
Now, I got to say real quick, I don't know if you saw this or not, but you guys did the Media Pro Day, which you basically did to make fun of the media.
That's not true.
I didn't exactly have the greatest broad jump, and I know that kind of went viral, but there was a post-game show where I got challenged to a free throw contest a couple games ago, and I went 9 for 10.
Come on.
So I don't know if you saw that or if I redeemed myself, but 9 for 10.
Really?
Yes. I heard you were quite the basketball player as well back in the day. But
hey, first off, congrats on that. I'm automatically jump up another level in my mind, BJ. But I love hoops. So growing up in San Diego, I absolutely thought I was going to play in the NBA. Like, it was like I had it written on my wall. I was praying every night to be 6'5". I'd hang from a bar. I'd drink milk, and I'm 5'11", and here we are. You know what I mean?
Well, we appreciate your time. I'm getting the hook from your handler here, but no, we appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming on. Enjoy the second half here, and shout out Sire Gaines, a couple of the players that stayed here for the second half.
Right.
But
let's go.
We'll talk to you again soon. Appreciate it. Congrats on a pretty strong offseason, and can't wait till that Oregon game, man.
No, appreciate it, BJ. And hey, Bronco Nation, appreciate you guys. God bless as always. Thanks, BJ.
There he is. All right, there he is, Spencer Danielson. Appreciate him for coming on. Couple interesting notes there that we'll bring up quickly. Nate Potter's still the play caller. Spring ball doesn't start till March 26th. They're going to wait till after spring break, which is something they haven't done in a long time around here. So you're looking at probably I would say late April for the spring game. So it's going to be 2 or 3 weeks later than it typically is. I would say they haven't announced a date for that yet, but they're on the hunt and they're in their workouts and they're ready to go. And sounds like there's some young guys are already stepping up and making some early impressions. So appreciate Spencer Danielson for coming on. Hope you guys enjoyed that interview. All right, if you got any football questions, we're going to talk to Adam here in a second. But a couple sponsors I want to thank: Signature Roofing, online at mysignatureroofing.com, speakpipe.com/BNN, speakpipe.com/BNN. Leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox, and Signature Roofing online at mysignatureroofing.com, whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, or an inspection. Online, mysignatureroofing.com for all your roofing needs. And again, our Signature Roofing scoreboard update. One game in the Mountain West last night, 86-66. You get a win for Utah State on the road at New Mexico. 6 games on Saturday coming up in the Mountain West. No Friday game tomorrow night. 6 games on Saturday. We'll tell you more about those tomorrow from our friends at Signature Roofing. Hey, Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Check them out online at BauscherRealEstate.com, 252-9877. If you're ready to buy or sell a home, Matt's ready to help you out. Bauscher Real Estate. If you're ready for a new fence, Element Fencing can help you do that. ElementFencing.com, whether it's decks, pergolas, fences, cedar, wrought iron, vinyl, they can do it all. Brady and his staff and his 25 plus years, they're ready to help you design that perfect fence and fit all your fencing needs. Check them out online at elementfencing.com. Ridley's Family Markets, shop Ridley's.com. Ridley's Family Markets, shop Ridley's.com. They got 13 locations in the state of Idaho. If you're looking for that hometown grocer, stay away from the big corporate companies, folks. Family owned, and your community, they care about the community. That's Ridley's Family Markets, online at shopridleys.com. All right, rowpaint.com, 20% off your winter painting project. Whether it's interior, exterior painting, those concrete coatings, Row Paint is ready to help you out at rowpaint.com.
Again, Andy Rowe and Rowe Paint, a longtime sponsor at BNN. We appreciate them. Check them out at rowepaint.com. And if you're looking for a new job, Transportation Compliance Service is ready to help you out. TCS, Transportation Compliance Service, transcompservice.com, local company helping out folks all around the world get into the trucking industry, and you can get more information. Sign up today at transcompservice.com. Last night, another night in the Mountain West, went well past midnight here in the Mountain Time Zone. Tom Moser, we had Mason Falslev join us live from the pit. Great discussion on the end of that crazy Fresno UNLV game, and then a preview of the Boise State game against New Mexico. So go back and watch another night in the Mountain West. It's on YouTube. Download, or I guess subscribe to the new YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Mountain West BNN. And you can do that. And we'd love to have you join. And Tom does a great job hosting that show. And so go back and watch last night's show. Tom Moser, another night in the Mountain West. All right, talking football. And our man Adam Engroff, kind enough to join us. We appreciate him for his time. Just need Adam to turn on his camera there, and then we can bring him into the stage here momentarily. Adam Engroff, 27 years in the NFL, all with the Miami Dolphins, and we appreciate Adam for giving us his time. We really enjoyed last week's session, and again, 27 seasons. Started as a scout with the Miami Dolphins way back in 1999, and area scout 01 to 11, national scout 11 to 16, director of college scouting 16 to 19, and then the director of player personnel from 2019 to 2025. Adam, you might have to come back in. I'm not sure, but I don't see your camera, so you got to give access to your browser there. Maybe try Chrome. I see you in the system, but I don't see your camera turned on, so Adam may need to figure that out, and we'll get to Adam here momentarily. Adam Engroff, again, 27 years with the Miami Dolphins and lives in the Boise area and has some great perspective on the draft and everything else going there. So we will get Adam added in here shortly. Adam, I think we have your audio. I guess that's better than nothing if we can't get the video working. Are you there, Adam?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm been listening to the show for a few minutes, so I was there. So
I haven't seen your face to this point. In the bottom left there, do you see a thing to turn on the camera?
Yep.
Okay, now that just turned it off. Let's see.
This is
all
good
right.
radio.
Which are you in Chrome, sir?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and we had your video last time, so I have no idea what's going on there. I'm not sure if we just want to do it audio only here, if we want to try to
get back in, BJ.
Come back in on your phone or come back in there. Maybe you can leave the studio and try to come back, and we'll see what happens there. We'll bring Adam back on in a second here. Apologize for that, folks. He's been patiently waiting, and so we'll get to him as soon as we can. If you have a question for a longtime NFL executive that lives in Boise and has very close ties with the Boise State program, and a good friend of Kent Riddle and Brad's, and great dude. So always appreciate when Adam, is they had a GM change there, and he's looking for a new job right now, and in between things after 27 years with the Dolphins, and we thought it was a perfect time to get him involved with BNN. And I don't see again. He's for whatever reason we're not going to have his video today. I don't know what's going on with that. All right, Adam. At least we got you audio. We'll just pop a few questions with you without you on camera and go from there, I guess, because I'm not sure why it's not working. But yeah, I don't know. But you can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll just go We'll just go no video today. I'm not sure what the issue is there, unless you want to try to come back on your phone or something. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'll try on my phone. I apologize.
Okay.
This is
all right. No worries. We'll bring Adam on here momentarily. And again, if you have a question for Adam, you can feel free to throw that in the chat. I wanted to talk Ty Benefield today with him and him going to LSU, and if that helps or hurts his draft chances, and some other questions like that. But I see a couple of questions coming in the chat. Happy to throw those up there for Adam here momentarily. We do appreciate Sun Cruiser. I'm actually meeting with Sun Cruiser today and getting a new neon sign, I believe, for the studio here for my game room, one or the other. But they're coming through with some swag for us here at BNN from Sun Cruiser, and maybe even some free samples for the Super Bowl party we're having here at the Rains house. So looking forward, and always appreciate Sun Cruiser. There's Adam. There he is. Not sure the issue there, so sorry if that's on my end, or we'll figure that out later afterwards. But Adam, always appreciate you, man. Ty Benefield, I'll get right to it. Obviously had a decision to make, go pro, come back to Boise State, transfer. He elects to go to LSU. Take us through that process from an NFL perspective, and I guess A, where you thought he might have gone if he came out this year, but B, how does him going from Boise State to LSU how does that change or impact what potentially could be his ceiling or his draft stock in terms of more eyeballs on him or viewership or playing tougher competition? Just how does all that kind of come together with Ty Benefield?
Yeah, sorry about that, BJ. I don't know what's going on either. Yeah, to answer your question, obviously he's going to have more eyes on him and things being he'll be on a big national stage being at LSU. But from a scouting perspective, it really doesn't matter where he plays. We knew about Ty for a couple of years. He's always stood out there even as a freshman. So where he plays, that doesn't really matter. In the portal process, that would only really matter to scouts if you were jumping, say, from like a College of Idaho level up to Boise State level or Utah level. That's where you want to see him going against, bigger bodies, faster players. So that really doesn't affect us and affect the scouting community and the fact that going from Boise State to LSU, that we would have saw him as the same player, just more national attention and probably a little bit of a monetary gain for him and his family.
What do you make of his decision to stay in college and not come out?
I think he would have been drafted this year, probably in the mid rounds, maybe higher. It all depends on how he would test at the combine and pro day. I think he's a very good player, very talented. He's got size. He plays hard. He's intense. He's physical. He's a big hitter. He just needed to clean up a lot of technical stuff, and that's just probably because he's young, meaning, playing more under control, being a better tackler, a more consistent tackler, and better angles to the ball, and just being a more mature player. But athletically, size, speed, instincts, he's got all of that, so that comes naturally to him.
Scott Ford says in the YouTube chat, what's the prototype size for an NFL safety?
I would probably say about 6 foot to 6'1", 200 pounds, and then running sub 4.55 would be the prototype size. And he is big, and staying on Ty, he is bigger than that, and he is faster than that. And so he is a very good size for an NFL safety. He looks the part, as we like to say.
Now we're talking about going from a Boise State to an LSU type. Robbie Robinson in the chat says, where do NFL scouts put the balance between dominant group of 6 players and decent power 4 players? How do you look at numbers and how guys look at a Boise State or a G5 versus what they do at a bigger school and maybe not having as big a production or stats?
Again, in the very end, it doesn't really matter when you're at a Boise State level to LSU. It just, week in, week out, playing in the SEC, you're seeing, the highest level of competition. Big Ten, SEC is almost like, AAA football for the NFL. So it's a less of a projection, if you want to put it in that terms of how they'll size up against NFL players, but it's not that big of a jump, and it's not that big of a thing for scouts to decipher coming from Boise State to LSU. It's just the week in, week out where you're playing an SEC schedule week in and week out. So that just, it's just easier to project at that point.
All right. Adam Engroff, our guest here on Bronco Nation News, 27 years with the Miami Dolphins, and we always appreciate his insight and thoughts. And I know, looking at the college football landscape, 14 seasons at Montana, Bobby Hauck, I know I mispronounced that, retiring as the Montana coach after 14 years. I know you had some thoughts on that.
Yeah, Bobby, I've known Bobby for over 20 years. Great man, great coach, old school coach, tough. I think their programs epitomize that. The Dolphins, especially when Coach Parcells was there, he really loved Montana players for what Coach Hauck instilled in them. And we had several Montana players in the late 2000s on our team. But knowing Bobby, I just think he was probably tired of the portal process and dealing with agents. I think I even heard that yesterday. And, there's no health issues involved or anything like that. So just probably sick and tired of dealing with all the headaches that come with college football these days, especially at that level when you have to, battle against portal guys going to all over the place and losing your best player because they just don't have the resources to pay down there.
So what is that relationship like with someone like yourself and staffs, like a staff at Boise State? Because I know we see scouts and stuff out at practice. I've always wondered this because obviously these coaches want what's best for their players. And so when you're asking questions to these guys, and we see a lot of times at practice, Spencer will be over there talking to 3 or 4 scouts, before practice starts or whatever sometimes. Are coaches always straight up with you? And I guess, you can tell when they tell you something that ends up not being true, not to trust them anymore? Obviously, they want what's best for their guys. But when you're talking about whether it's a coach at Montana trying to help get his player drafted, or Spencer Danielson, or the receivers coach somewhere, like what's that relationship like from the scouting department when you're trying to get some insight on these guys? But obviously, the coaches want to try to help their players as well.
In scouting, being an area scout or a scout in general, relationships are enormous. They're huge. So, when I first started scouting out here back in the early 2000s, you didn't know everybody and you just took everybody's word for it. And then as you grow, this guy's kind of full of it. He's not telling us the truth, and you get burned. And then you learn not to go talk to that coach anymore about the player when we're trying to find out about the player's makeup, his work ethic, his toughness, his ability to learn football. And, going back to Bobby or even with Spencer, you know them over the years and you get to know them and you trust their opinion. They're good people. They're going to shoot you straight. So, yes, coaches don't always give you the truth, but then you learn who to trust. And then once you figure out who you can trust, you go back to that source over and over. And, Spencer's an excellent example because he's a honest person and he tells you, the truth about players. And that's really all we need to know, because we don't want to be lied to, because it makes, that coach look bad, and it makes the scout look bad when we're reporting stuff back to our GM or head coach that isn't true.
Jordan says Adam rocking the Timberline hat. Pretty cool. Let's see. Robbie, big question here. Who should have won the Heisman? Definitely still not bitter.
This year?
No, they're talking Genty and last year.
Yeah, I would have voted for Ashton. Ashton, great player, great kid. I think he embodies what the trophy's for. Carried a program on his back to the playoffs. So, yeah, I'm a little biased, too, being around it and seeing him and knowing the person. So I think Ashton should have been the vote. And, yeah, I'm a big Timberline fan.
But how does scouts balance on-field performance versus being a good culture fit for the team?
Yeah, it's a fine balance. Usually the guys that have the best makeup, as we like to call it, or that add to a culture, those are the guys you want. Now, let's go back to Ashton. Ashton was the best player on the team, but he was also the hardest worker on the team and maybe one of the toughest players on the team. So it's the perfect package right there. So you'll take a little less of a player sometimes if he brings high football IQ, high passion. Boise State's had several players over the years that were late round or undrafted free agents that just stick and play in the league because of the mental makeup and the kind of people they are. Those people tend to last longer because they treat it like a profession. They're mature and they do what's right to stay in the league and know what it takes.
So final question for you. What is going on right now? Because the combine's not for 3-4 weeks here. So those guys are all training, getting ready for that. The Senior Bowl's now in the books. I'm not sure if there's any other all-star games still left, but what in the for these guys going to the draft, for you guys, with teams, what's going on here in early February in terms of getting ready for the combine and stuff?
Right now, NFL teams are probably going to start meeting on Monday after the Super Bowl. They'll have their draft meetings. Typically, it's a 10 to 12-day process where you go through the entire, all the players that the scouts have scouted, and you go by position. So you learn about the players, you stack your board, and then you go to the combine and you watch them perform, you interview them, and then after the combine, you kind of readjust the stack, how they performed, how they interview. That's on the scouting process. Players right now are, at their training facilities or at their schools getting ready for their pro day, or they're getting ready for the combine. So they're training for the 40, the short shuttle, the broad jump, but they also have to work on their position skills, meaning if it's a receiver, he's got to be working on his routes, catching the ball, because we put those kids through a position workout after they do the combine testing at a pro day.
All right, we'll sneak one more question in here. Bronco 130 says, who is the most underrated player you have scouted that you knew was going to be great, but was under the radar? Do you have a favorite guy or somebody that you just really liked and it just for whatever reason not everybody else did, and one that maybe panned out or what?
Two really stand out for me. One, and we'll keep it out on the West thing, when I was an area scout, Devon Bess. He was at the University of Hawaii with Colt Brennan, June Jones on that Sugar Bowl team. They were just dominant. Devon had some issues off the field coming out of high school, and that's why he ended up at Hawaii. But also he was probably 5'9" and ran a 4.65. So he wasn't the biggest, he wasn't fastest. If you watch the tape, he was spectacular. So as an area scout, I really sold him hard to our general manager, Jeff Ireland, and our president, Bill Parcells at the time. Like, this guy's going to make our team. He's going to help us. He can get open. He can catch the ball, natural football player. He goes undrafted because he didn't run very well. He comes in. We sign him. I think I signed him for an $8,000 signing bonus. He goes on to set the Dolphins rookie record for catches as a rookie and starts and leads us to a division title that year. If you want to hear one more, always one that I think is fun is John Denny. Played at BYU, starting defensive end, very good college player. He was also the backup long snapper at BYU. I watched him long snap in a game, and I was like, man, this guy, he can really long snap. And he goes through the draft process. I go work him out. I actually went and worked him out with Dan Quinn, who's now the Commanders coach, who was our D-line coach at the time. And I told him he could be a snapper. And he goes, I don't want to be a snapper. I think I could be a defensive end. I said, well, let's just try it. And we put him through that workout. So he goes undrafted because he didn't run that well. I sign him. He's like, I want to play defensive end. I'm like, oh, you're going to play defensive end a little bit. And, but we want to try as a snapper. Well, 2 weeks in, he's full-time snapper. He wins the job. And then he played for 15 years and has the most games in Dolphins history for a guy that wasn't real fired up about being a long snapper, and signed for $8,000, but he had quite a career.
How about that? And I want to get into that more next week, because when you're putting your reputation out there fighting for some of these guys, you better know what you're talking about, because if it doesn't, after a while, your president's going to stop listening to you. You're going to be out of a job. So I mean, but with the receiver there and all these stories, I'm sure there's some great ones, and that's for you to last 27 years and move up the chain like you have. Obviously, shows that you knew what you were looking at and what you were seeing and what you were doing. So appreciate your time as always. Sorry for the video issues, and always appreciate you coming on. And as we kind of get more into combine and more actual stuff happening, I think we're going to have more stuff to talk about here. And I do want to dive into some tape on maybe some current Boise guys too, the next class of prospects, moving forward here, and maybe get your thoughts on like a Maddox Madsen, not even from a pro perspective, but just what you see from him and as a college quarterback and things like that. So a lot of expertise we hope to tap in here moving forward as we kind of evolve this show. But appreciate you for your time, Adam. Great stuff, and we'll do it again next week.
Thanks, BJ. Great to see you.
Yep, thanks, Adam Engroff. Always appreciate him. Great answers. Got a lot of great stuff in the chat there. Appreciate him for coming on. And we're gonna continue to evolve. And he has great expertise, great ties to Boise State, but also just college football in general. So I'm looking forward to tapping into that moving forward here as much as we can. All right. Appreciate all of you for jumping on. Thanks to all of our sponsors, Sun Cruiser. Check out Sun Cruiser. Perfect drink for the Super Bowl, Sun Cruiser Studios. We appreciate them for their support. Again, low carb, low calorie, 4.5%. They have the vodka lemonades, also the vodka iced teas, all kinds of flavors. Highly recommend Sun Cruiser. And of course, Lithia Ford of Boise, our title sponsor, LithiaFordBoise.com. Check them out, folks, for that new or pre-owned vehicle, car or truck. They're ready to help you out at Lithia Ford of Boise. And again, they're taking care of a lot of student athletes, coaches, administrators. You want to support somebody that really supports Boise State, that is Lithia Ford of Boise. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We're heading down to talk to Leon Rice. we'll get that posted this afternoon. Mike Prater will join me tomorrow at 9 a.m., and then it's off to Albuquerque tomorrow afternoon for the showdown against New Mexico on Saturday night. So appreciate you guys. Go check out BroncoNationNews.com. We got a lot of content, recruiting stuff from Chris up there. Nathan's got a football story we'll be posting here shortly. So a lot of basketball, football content on the website, BroncoNationNews.com. Subscribe if you can. We'd love to have you at BroncoNationNews.com. And always appreciate those of you that already have subscribed, and support the sponsors, folks. Appreciate you guys. We will talk to you soon. Bronco Nation News online, BroncoNationNews.com. Take care, everybody.